Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Pets, people, pop culture. Bring on the host, Sam, the queen of rock and roll dogs.
Hello everyone, I'm Sam, the queen of rock and roll dogs and the host of Vegas Rock Dog Radio. On today's show, I'm talking about e-cigarettes, tear stains, ground mats, and unicorns. So stay right there.
Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Pets, people, pop culture.
Hi everyone, welcome to the show. I'm Sam, I'm your host, I'm the queen of rock and roll dogs, and this is Vegas Rock Dog Radio. We're a rock and roll show all about pets, people, and pop culture. In the studio with me today is Mr. Jim. Yay!
Old Nine Fingers.
Yeah, we'll talk about Nine Fingers over there. Old nine fingers, one shoulder.
Old Nine Fingers is here.
Old Nine Fingers, one shoulder. Miss Thornton is in studio today. Mr. Twix is getting all, primped and preemed over at our groomers this morning. And Miss Galaxy always looks down on us, as we do every single show. Make sure we stay in line, as she always made us stay in line, and do a great show for you today. Got lots to talk about. Wow, like loads and loads and loads of stuff. Jim's back in studio. Where the heck were you last week? Or was it the week before?
The week before I was in Indianapolis.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Can't keep track. I'm serious, people. I cannot keep track. In and out of town. I'm very busy. He's very busy. Dogs are very busy. It's nutty time of year. Lots going on. But it's okay. It's all fun stuff for the most part. Anyway, before we talk about Nine Fingers and unicorns and other fun, ridiculous things, if you'd like to connect with us in other ways, we've got a website, and our website is vegasrockdogradio.com. We're also on Periscope. I actually did a Periscope last week, believe it or not. And we're on Facebook, of course, Twitter, Pinterest, Tumblr, Instagram. And we have a blog, therockandrolldog.com. That's probably going to get quite a bit of activity for the remainder of the year. Remainder of the year?
Yeah,
yes.
That's correct.
That sounded
That's
weird.
right.
That sounded weird to me. The remainder of the year. I've only spoke English my whole life. Because I'm going to be doing a gift guide. I'm going to be doing some DIY stuff and recommending great products and that kind of thing. So the Rock and Roll Dog is the name of the blog. We also have an app, and the app is, well, you'll go to yap.us, yapp.us. You know what I want to sing every time I say YAPP?
YAPP.
No.
Oh, what?
I want to say, hey, JPPY. That's a disco song. Da, 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 da. Do you remember it?
I don't know that one.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
I know the Pharrell Happy one.
That's a great song too. Actually, it's one of my favorites. And this is how well my sisters know me. They'll hear a song that I've not heard and say, oh, this is right down your alley. And they're correct every single time. And that was one of them. Where was I going next? Oh, yeah, of course. If you don't catch the live show, and the live show is where all the fun is. If you miss the live show, you can catch up with the shows on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Sirius, XM, Spreaker, Podchaser. You name it. You're going to find a Stitcher. We're everywhere. But it's really easy. Just download those apps and search Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Really, really easy. Well, I do have a tip of the week, Jim.
Okay, lay it on us.
Princess Madonna's. It's not a tip. Well, it's actually Princess Madonna's autumn bucket list. Who's Princess Madonna?
Your sister, your twin's dog. Named after Madonna herself.
That's right. Madonna was on TV last night. She was really strange.
She's odd.
She was very strange in the Jimmy Kimmel interview.
Is your sister still her super fan?
Maybe just a fan at this point. Yeah, she's changed. Yeah. She's changed her views over the years.
She's kind of like
She's
like turning into Betty Davis. Like old Betty Davis.
Yeah. She's got a skincare line out, which I don't doubt. I mean, packaging, amazing. I don't doubt it is absolutely fantastic because she doesn't do anything by halves, by no means. But she was a little strange. I will say that. So let's go back to Princess
What's her
Madonna.
skincare line called? Who's Afraid of Baby Jane?
MDN.
Oh, okay.
Madonna. Madonna. The packaging was amazing, though. So Princess Madonna has got an autumn bucket list. Yeah?
You didn't identify Princess Madonna yet.
You already did.
We didn't say that she was a King Charles Spaniel.
She is a...
King Charles Spaniel.
That's right. And she can go anywhere in England.
Anywhere in their house, too. Even more places than Buddy can go.
The breed can go anywhere in England. As decreed by...
The Queen.
No!
What?
King Charles.
Oh, yeah. Well.
Okay. You know why they adopted these little dogs back then? I think you do know this.
To eat the fleas off royal people.
So the fleas stayed on the dogs and they wouldn't go on the people who had fleas.
I bet they had all kinds of other cooties back then.
Oh, I bet they did. They
didn't have roll-on deodorant back then.
And I can guarantee you they probably didn't want to undress and redress a million times a day to get a shower in those kind of outfits.
That's probably why they had to change clothes so often, because they got stinky.
They probably didn't change their clothes so often because it was too much effort to
kept
change
the stink
clothes.
Inside 50 layers of gowns.
Maybe it kept the stink in.
Oh, my God.
Like a tent.
The odoriferous English.
Well, we can say that about other people too, Jim. We do have deodorant, by the way.
Game of odors.
We've never watched one episode of Game of Thrones. What's wrong with us?
We watch Stranger Things.
Oh my gosh! And if you caught one of my posts this week on Instagram, and my Instagram account is Vegas Rock Dog, I had Stranger Dogs, and I had Mr. Twix with the ball cap on and the radio, the 80s radio.
What was that kid's name that he was?
I've forgotten his name.
I'm going to look up the cast.
Well, while he's doing that, is there a dog in Stranger Things?
I don't think so.
They need a dog in the show. Oh, okay. So here are Princess Madonna's autumn bucket list items. These are things that she is going to do in autumn to make sure that she's done some fun stuff. So the first thing is she's going to visit a pumpkin patch and pick out a pumpkin. She's going to take long walks, long romantic walks. And she's going to bake some pumpkin dog treats. She is going to go for a picnic, but an autumn picnic. So you have to kind of wrap up and take a little blanket. And she's going to watch a movie about dogs. And she's going to take some autumn photos of herself amongst the autumn leaves and the colours of the trees. That's a song, I swear. And she's going to snuggle under a blanket. So there's a cute little autumn bucket list from Princess Madonna. And we'll follow up with her on how she gets along, in particular, looking at the photos, her autumn photo shoot. So there you go. That's something, it's something you can do with your pets. I think it's very easy to go day in, day out, do the same thing, or really not do much at all with your pets. But it is nice. It feels special when you actually say, oh, we're going to do this with our dog today or with our cat today. And so that's just some nice ways that you can actually bond with your pets during autumn time. Do you like that idea, Jim?
That's great.
Okay.
We go on walks all the time with our dogs.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of the routine. That's the greatest thing in life.
It is.
Walking and eating.
Walking and eating, that's right. What did you discover? Oh, yeah, the kid's name.
The character's name is Dustin Henderson.
Dustin Henderson.
But his name is Gatton Matarazzo.
Oh.
It's interesting.
Is he Greek?
Well, let me tell you this about him, because it's very interesting. I can't speak.
No, you can't.
He began his career on Broadway stage as Benjamin in Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, and as Gavroche in Les Miserables. So he's got creds.
How old is he?
Oh, I don't know.
Like 14?
Probably 14, 15.
Wow.
That's a great cast of kids, though.
If you haven't seen Stranger Things, oh my gosh, do it this weekend. It's so good. It's so good. You know what people have been very good about is not giving spoilers on social media, because there's nothing worse than that. And, you know, you have to try and avoid it sometimes. So, actually, I'm completely going off topic here. Well, actually, no, I'm going to get onto topic in a second. What are you doing right now?
On topic, basically.
Here's my weekly update. This is what I've been up to this week. I got to spend time with the newly born puppies over at the Southern Nevada Beagle Rescue. 6 of them.
You were with puppies and kittens this week, weren't you?
I haven't done kittens this week.
You haven't the kittens were last week.
I didn't get to do the kittens at all.
Oh.
And I need to do the kittens. Oh, it's all happening around here. So the Emerald, what a beautiful name for a dog. Emerald, she had her 6 puppies, and they named them, and I don't know all of them off the top of my head, but we had Vegas, we had Elvis, we had, I'm about making that up about the Vegas name. Vegas Elvis, Liberace, Debbie Reynolds, which I just love.
Oh, that's a good name.
I just love that. And she's the only girl, and she's really, really adorable.
In the whole litter.
Yes, and I can't remember the name of the other 2. Very, very cute. Emerald, probably not the most. She's. It's not a natural thing to be a mother to her, because they'll be feeding, yeah. And she's laying down, and they're feeding off her. And then she just gets up and walks off, and the puppy's like hanging on and dropping off as she walks away, and then she's licking them to clean them. And she's flipping them around like a burrito. They're rolling around. And I watched her flip one out of the bed onto the blanket. And they're trying to feed her. She just walks away. So she's not the most natural of mothers. She's quite funny, though. But what she had done, I don't know if you saw this, she'd overly groomed one of the puppies.
And it had to get stitches.
Had to get stitches on its belly because she'd worn a hole in its little belly. So, hence, if you see the pictures on my Instagram account, you'll see the one dog who's got, well, a puppy, who's wearing either a little sock with holes in it or a little tiny Superman T-shirt to protect its belly from
It's wicked mother.
overly. She's not wicked. She's just a bit vigorous and a bit clumsy. But I got to hang out with them. They're teeny tiny. They're only a week and a half old.
Are they all spoken for from the rescue, or are they still up for adoption?
Oh, they will eventually be up for adoption, of course, but they're only a week and a half, so they're going to be there a little while. So you'll see more pictures of me with the puppies. And if you would like to make a donation, you can hop over to their website, southernnevadabeaglerescue.com, and make a donation because, yeah. And here's the thing. It's not, the puppies are in good health. I mean, yes, the one did have to have stitches, but she has.
And they're going to live they're going to live the proper amount of time with
yeah.
their mother before they're adoptable. They're not going to be rushed out.
None of that.
Like the industry standard in the stores.
Which is terrible. No, they'll be staying there till they're very, very healthy. At the moment, they're not too much trouble because they kind of move around like little turtles. But the minute they get really, what's the word? Ambulatory?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Once they get moving, it's going to be a different story. Now, bear in mind, she has other beagles in the rescue. She does take the dogs from the testing labs, and they do come with a myriad of problems. And there's one now.
Is that where this mother came from, or did she come from somewhere else?
She came from a puppy mill. She came from a puppy mill, so she saved her from the puppy mill. And rarely did they get out those breeding pairs. But she does have a lot of dogs coming in. She's got one right now that they think she may have cancer, and I hope it's not the case. But she definitely needs donations. So I'm going to pick up some big dog beds from my least favorite place. Please don't say the name of the place. It's a big bulk purchasing place that
that's my favorite place to go shopping. I need to go there for vitamins anyhow.
I just don't want to give free advertising, but I can't stand it. I can't stand it on a weekend. Absolutely.
It's because you're not a good member.
No, it's stressful. I can't stand it. People are rude, and people don't put the shopping carts back. And that's enough to take me.
They're not as rude as the people of Walmart. I'm sorry.
No, they're on the same level.
No, they're not.
They're on the same level. Answer me this. Answer me this. People don't return their cards. The excuses are hilarious, beyond hilarious. They don't return their cards. They don't have the energy, they say, to return the card. But they have the energy to bench press a shopping trolley, onto a curb, which is more effort than walking it back.
They're just called lazy pigs. That's what they are.
Don't insult pigs.
Well, I'm sorry, but if you don't put your shopping cart back into the receptacle, you are lazy pigs. You are lazy pigs.
I don't think pigs are lazy.
I hope.
Where did this idea come from? That
I
pigs
hope
are
no
lazy?
one listening to our show is one of those lazy pigs. But if you are, you need to stop putting your carts leaving around and dinging people's cars.
Take your trolleys back. Take your trolleys back.
That's a peeve.
It is a peeve. Anyway, so why did we get on that? Oh yeah, I'm going to buy dog beds for the beagles, and so they've got new beds this week. So yes, I will brave that horrible place to get beds for dogs. Absolutely, I will. I talked about my blog and how there's going to be a fair bit of activity going on the blog itself. I need a pop filter. Where's my pop filter?
Right here on my microphone.
Oh. I'm looking for my pop filter, and he's got my pop filter.
Stop speaking with pops.
That's just
be fine.
rude. Sometimes you just do, Jim. This is one of the things that's going to happen, and I'm starting on it this weekend because I love to be creative. I'm going to be creating a Christmas pet wreath, but not just any old wreath. It's going to look like a paw print.
Are you going to do that before or after you finish your paint project?
I've got to finish my bathroom paint project first. That won't take long. It's just some trim work. But then I'm going to go straight onto my Christmas pet wreath. It's DIY. It's going to look like a paw print. And this is the kind of wreath that you could make it for Hanukkah. You could make it for someone's birthday, for a dog's birthday. You could theme it out however you want, because the main part of it is the fact that it looks like a paw print. And it's going to look fabulous. If I get time, I'll sell them. If I get time. I'll see how long this one takes. And then we'll go from there. But that's going to go up on the blog probably next week. I will let you know on our Facebook page when that happens as well. Or you can go to the blog, therockandrolldog.com, and you can sign up. You can subscribe. Then you'll be in the know immediately when it happens. So remember I was saying I needed goals each week, how many animals I was going to spend time with?
Right.
I've spent time with 14 dogs this week.
Oh.
I think I may have done a slightly higher number in other weeks, but I think that's pretty good going this week, don't you?
What do you like, the dog pope?
What does that mean?
The pope goes on tour to visit his people, so you go on tour to visit.
I do, and I love it. I absolutely love it. While we're talking about animals, we may as well talk about mythical animals, unicorns.
Oh, my word. I'm going to just let you talk about this.
So, well, you sent me the video. Jason sent me this funny video of a couple of pole dancers on an inflatable unicorn. It's like full size, and it was brilliant, really.
It was interesting.
It's gonna go viral. So I said to Jim, I'm gonna get one of those. He said, where are you going to put it? I said, in the bedroom. He said, we don't need a big giant balloon in there. I'm like, yeah, but it's got big hooves. And he goes, oh, if you need a unicorn in your life, go get yourself a unicorn. I am going to get that unicorn. And then Jan, our friend Jan, said, well, we were both so special, we should get two. And I said, yeah, I'm going to get matching unicorns for our bedroom.
No, don't you dare. I do not want a plastic inflatable unicorn.
And then our friend Cops, she said, your dogs will lose their mind. Well, they will. They will lose their minds. They'll probably pop it. But I lived with a balloon showgirl. Remember the balloon showgirl? She was 7 foot tall. Remember I had her in the house? From the Showbiz Roast, when we did the Showbiz Roast in Andy.
I don't remember.
I'd be the big, giant 7 foot balloon showgirl.
She was in our house?
Yeah, she was.
No, she wasn't.
She was massive. I had her in the kitchen. I had her in the living room. She came on. She was in the bedroom. She's been everywhere.
Oh, the balloon showgirl. I thought it was a girl that did a showgirl routine with balloons.
You mean a real person? You thought I had a real person in the house and you didn't know it. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I remember that balloon thing now.
Well, I have to say a big hello to my friend Sarah in Sheffield, England, back where I come from. And Sarah tagged me in a fantastic toy gym that I'm going to ask Santa for. And it's a unicorn, a mechanical unicorn. And he's got pink hooves too. So, so there you go. So it's fantastic. Look at it. It's a magical unicorn. Its wings go up and down. I'm looking at it right now.
How big is it?
Is that bit called the unicorn?
That's called the corn. What's wrong with you? Unicorns have one horn. One corn. One corn.
Well, it's corn, which doesn't seem right. It's corn. Lights up. It flashes. Press her heart button. She's got a heart button. I don't know what happens when that happens. And then there's some little person in the background. What is that little person? She must fit on the back.
A leprechaun.
Oh, it's toot friends. That's what it says. Toot friends.
You're so weird.
Oh, it's for kids. What? 1 to 5 years old. Perfect for me. What more could I want for Christmas? There you go. I'm sorted, Jim. I'm absolutely sorted. Oh my gosh. I can't believe that we've got this far and we still haven't talked about anything serious. What should we do? Should we take a quick break? Yeah. Let's take a quick break. I think I covered everything on my weekly update and my pet tips. I covered it all. I covered puppies, Christmas pet wreath. The fact I've seen 14 dogs this week and the unicorn bull toy dancer. Well, I'll tell you what. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side of the break, though, we're going to talk about some inspirational stories and some interesting topics. So stay right there. You're listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio with me, Sam, your host, the queen of rock and roll dogs.
Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Pets, people, pop culture.
Pet Scene Magazine is dedicated to Las Vegas pets and the people who love them. It's a source of news and information for pet lovers, as well as offering valuable coupons and specials on pet products and services. Find them online at www.lvpetscene.com or look for them on Facebook.
At Carl's Jr., not only do we make you happy with our delicious charbroil burgers, we also make your dogs happy. Come through our drive-thru with your furry friends and we'll offer them a treat. We love to see their smiling faces. Our website, carlsjroflasvegas.com, has a treat in store for its customers too, with free coupons anytime, so visit us often. Carl's Jr. is a proud and active supporter of animal adoption in our community. You can find us at carlsjroflasvegas.com.
Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Pets, people, pop culture.
Oh, welcome back, everyone. My stomach's hurting from laughing. You've got to have a good laugh every single day. It's very good for your health, isn't it, Jim?
It is.
And you know what you did yesterday? You were laughing, and it was a bit rude, actually.
No.
When I had my spanakopita, and I said, "Do you want a bite of my spanakopita?" And and
you handed me the corner of it.
He took it out of my hand and shoved the whole thing in his mouth. And that was my dinner.
It slow motion.
That was my dinner. Well, yeah, I did see it, and I couldn't retrieve it because you literally opened up your mouth like a cave and swallowed my dinner.
Yeah, like an ogre.
And then laughed your head off.
Like the opposite of a unicorn, an ogre.
Horrible, horrible individual. Mm-hmm. And then he threw away. I had a Starbucks green tea latte that was actually in the fridge. And I get up and I thought, I'll get that in the morning. Jim, well, what happened was I ordered an iced one the night before. And the order was wrong. They'd made a hot one, and they know me, and then they said, "Hey, take both of them. We don't mind." So I took one, put it home. I said, "Oh yeah, I'll have that in the morning." Gone.
Well,
thrown
what
away.
Day was it?
He didn't drink it. Threw it away.
The morning was what? It was trash day.
Doesn't matter because it's trash day. You get to throw anything away you feel like.
I go through the fridge on the morning of trash day, and if it looks like it's been there, like a plastic coffee cup, it goes.
You must ask permission.
No,
in the future.
Wake you up at 6 a.m.
Just don't touch my things. Stop touching my things.
You could take over trash duty then.
Stop it. You're getting on my nerves now.
Shared responsibility.
You're getting on my nerves. I know, Sarah. I know you're listening in. Princess Madonna, isn't she clever? with her little autumn bucket list. I wonder what she'll come up with for winter. We'll have to see what her plans are on winter. But I think it's a great way to actually bond with your pet and some ideas to do things together, isn't it? So the snuggle under the blanket, I've been doing that all week. I've already got that one down. We're not so good at watching movies with other animals in the movies, are we, Jim? Because some little monkeys want to bark all the way through it at the TV screen, so that doesn't always work for us. But I do bake for them and bits and pieces. So let's get on to something that's quite inspirational. And this is about a service dog and how this service dog helped 2 Boston Marathon bombing survivors heal from their horrific injuries. So on that particular morning of the bombing, Patrick Downs and Jessica Kensky of Boston, they slept in and then they went to the gym and then decided to swing by the Boston Marathon that was happening that afternoon. They thought it would be just fun to catch one last marathon before the big move from Cambridge, Massachusetts to San Francisco. They were recently married and they'd settled on a spot near the finish line and they were just ready to cheer on all the runners, on that day. And they'd only been there a couple of minutes when the first bomb went off. And Patrick lost consciousness. And Jessica recalls just very graphic memories. She said, like, Patrick's foot was laying next to her. And unfortunately...
they got hit by the bombs.
Big time, yeah. And unfortunately, none of their family members knew they were there. Which must be absolutely terrifying if you can't get hold of them or you're not sure if they're there and you're trying to figure out where they are. Absolutely terrible. And they got separated because they were taken to different hospitals, and in those hospitals where they remained, just to start this journey, this painful recovery process they had to go through. They both lost their left legs, and then eventually Jessica had to have her right leg amputated too. So she lost both. Their injuries were horrific, and they had numerous surgeries. And they were very severe. And so their next 3 years, Walter Reed National Military Medical Center in Bethesda, Maryland, it became their home for 3 years. Can you imagine that? Just the realization that I'm going to be here for a very, very long time. I mean, not to have the comforts of your home. You can't do anything normal in your life. Like I said, go for a coffee, go for a walk. You can't do none of that stuff. I mean, that's just got to be sobering in itself, as well as having to recover from injuries. Just unbelievable.
Catastrophic.
Yeah, it really is. And then you think about your income and your home and how do you pay for this? And, just dreadful. Anyway, 4.5 years after the bombing, which I can't believe it's that long, Jessica was able to return to work on the oncology floor at Massachusetts General Hospital. And a vital part of their recovery came from a black Labrador called Rescue. That's the dog's name. And she said, we are just starting to piece some of our life back together. The first stage of recovery was quite long, and Rescue has been with us for most of it. I honestly don't know where we'd be without him. And Rescue was trained by NEEDS. That's an acronym for National Education for Assistance Dog Services. And he's a highly skilled service dog who can perform a myriad of tasks for Kensky, such as opening doors, fetching objects, calling for emergency help, which is, it's so vital, isn't it? And he provides plenty of emotional support, comfort, and comedy, they said, for the couple. And Rescue's impact on Kensky, Downs and wounded veterans at Walter Reed has been so profound that he's been named ASPCA's Dog of the Year 2017. And I think it's wonderful to be recognized for that. I think service dogs, emotional support dogs, therapy dogs are undervalued. Dogs that serve in the military and the police are undervalued. I always say to people that criticize people who have service dogs and emotional dogs, and they're traveling in particular, and they criticize them, I say, it's a lifeline for those people. And I really hope that you never have to have a service dog, because if you do, then you'll know what a difference that makes in your life. And so Jessica and Patrick, they said, this is from the president and CEO, Matt Bershadka of the ASPCA. He said that Jessica and Patrick are very special people, experiencing in a very intense way the emotional healing power that a dog can have in your life. And we all know that. Think about it on a basic, simple level. You don't feel very good. You, for example, when we need to get to your 9-finger story, they do make you feel better. And then imagine a dog that can actually aid you in everyday activities. Amazing. Anyway, Needs provided rescue to Kensky without charge for 4 years, and she recalled being so focused on the specifics of her arduous medical routine that she couldn't anticipate what a game-changer rescue would be. And she said, I forgot how therapeutic dogs can be, how calming and peaceful he was at this terrible and chaotic point in our lives. The first time I slept through the night after the bombing was when rescue came home with us. Unreal. That's unreal. That just gave me chills. This is just a beautiful, majestic animal, and he's always making us laugh. He's our favorite subject. And I think that most people will say that about their pets anyway. They're the favorite subject. He's so much fun to watch. He's like a huge ball of energy and joy. And get this, their deep relationship with rescue has inspired them to author a children's book about him. And it's called Rescue and Jessica, A Life-Changing Friendship. And it comes out April 2018, right before the 5th anniversary of the bombing. And they made a very deliberate decision not to mention the bombing, instead telling the story of an 11-year-old girl called Jessica who was adjusting to life with prosthetics, wheelchairs and crutches, with her service dog Rescue by her side. And Downs, which is Jessica's husband, appears in the book as Kensky's kid brother with glasses. I think that's incredible. That gosh, it's hard enough to write a book. It's hard enough to write a book under those kind of circumstances. And she said at this time, when it felt like everything was being taken away from us, rescue was the first thing being added to our lives. Their story was also portrayed in two 2016 films, which I'm going to watch this weekend. HBO documentary called Marathon, The Patriots' Day Bombing, and the movie Patriots' Day starring Mark Wahlberg. They didn't stop at writing the book, but they became advocates. They did even more for Americans severely injured in acts of domestic terrorism to receive treatment at military medical centers via their own private insurance plans. I think
Were they military members themselves?
I don't think so. No, because I think, well, I don't know. I mean, she's in the medical field. I don't know. But incredible couple with an incredible dog helping them move forward in a positive way from such an earth-shattering event. I mean, that is, gosh, you're a whole different person when you come out the other end of that, aren't you?
Yep.
So I just thought that was a really great story, and the dog gets some recognition. They've got a great book coming out, and I'm definitely going to watch those movies. I'll put the links up, actually, for those, because I think other people would enjoy watching them. What do I want to talk about next? I want to talk about... I found an interesting thing today, a very interesting thing. Let's talk about tear staining. This is something I do know, and I think you probably know about this, Jim, but you know, tear staining, it can look horrible, particularly on dogs that are light-coloured and white. It looks really, really bad. People think you're not looking after your dog if you've got tear stains. But what is it? What causes it? And what can you do about it? But here's the thing. This is what happened. I think this is the second time it happened. The FDA sent a letter of warning out to 3 manufacturers of tear stain removal products. And you're probably wondering, why would there be a warning for what we would probably think is a seemingly harmless tear stain product? And here's the reason, and it may surprise you, and that is that they contain the antibiotic tylosin tartrate. So there's an antibiotic in it.
Okay.
And you'll be outraged to know that it's not approved for use in dogs or cats, or even for the treatment of tear stain-related conditions. Can you believe that? Here's the problem.
Is it a human drug?
Don't think it is, but here's the problem. The general public, for most part, are very trusting of companies who produce pet products, believing that they just love animals so much that they created this product and would only have their best interests at heart. But we know that not to be true with many products. You know, as we've seen dangerous toys and treats enter the market, and now you've got this issue with antibiotics in an over-the-counter product. And you've more than likely heard of Angel's Eyes. That's one of them. It's kind of the most popular one on the market because it does get rid of the stains, yeah? But most people don't question how it works, what's in it, and that kind of thing. And along with Angel's Glow, Pet Spark, and 2 exported products, so this is for my people outside of the US, Glow Groom and Health Glow are the companies who receive the letters from the FDA. So if you're outside of the States and you see Glow Groom and Health Glow, know that they have antibiotics in it. Did you know that, Jim, that they had antibiotics in them?
I think we talked about that a couple of years
long
ago.
time ago, yeah. And I can't believe it's come up again. Anyway, the FDA warned that if the products remain on the market, the agency may seize them or file an injunction against the manufacturers. So tyrosine tartrate is approved by the FDA, and it's approved for use in livestock, but not in cats and dogs, except when prescribed by a veterinarian. I think this is a good move, which was this article, she says, which is not, Dr. Becker, which is not a blanket endorsement of the FDA, by the way. You must know this. She says, can't imagine how these over-the-counter products containing tyrosine tartrate have been sold under the radar for so long, especially since it's widely acknowledged that antibiotics are overused in the US, and antibiotic resistance bacteria is a serious public health concern. So you've constantly got, if you're using that all the time, you've got that in your pet system. That's crazy. But you wouldn't know that. How would you know that? Anyway, the company that makes Glow Groom and Health Glow actually admitted to the FDA inspectors that they do not list tyrosine tartrate on the labels of their exported products to avoid detection by customs in the countries that are receiving them. Talk about deceptive and dishonest. So this is, I think what we do, you just think, gosh, somebody that created a pet product must just love animals so much that why they did that in the first place. Because I love my pets, and if I could do that, I would do that. It's not the case. It is not the case. But anyway, we probably want to know what the heck is tear staining, what causes it. Anyway, it's usually caused by epiphora, which is the technical word for excessive tear production. And those tear stains themselves are the kind of that reddish brown under a dog's eyes or your cat's. And the condition is much more prevalent in certain breeds. For example, Maltese, Lhasa Apso, and Shih Tzus. And Mr. Twix used to be very bad when we first got him. But I tell you something, regular grooming, washing the face, a good diet has a lot to do with the change in that. It really does. And it can be much more obvious, of course, in those light-coated, colored coats, you know. And it's typically no more than a minor annoyance, but it also can be symptoms of serious eye health problems. And some of those include, and it's kind of a big list actually, ingrown eyelashes, infection of the eye, unusually large tear glands or unusually small tear duct openings, glaucoma or any kind of eye disease, entropion, which is those inverted eyelids, brachycephalic syndrome, which I don't know what that is. Do you look that up, Jem?
How do you spell it?
BRACHYCEPHALIC. It could be part of an ear infection, certain medications, exposure to secondhand smoke, poor quality diet, and plastic food bowls, stress, and teething in puppies. So you've got to get to the underlying issue always. Never just treat symptoms. And if you do have a cat or a dog, just talk to your veterinarian if they've got this problem. It's important to rule out any medical causes before you assume it's just a simple matter of, too many tears being produced. And why some pets have or show more tear staining is typically a result of porphyrins, and they are naturally occurring molecules containing iron. Waste products from the breakdown of the red blood cells and are mostly removed from the body in the usual way, in poo.
Short-nosed breed airway impedance.
Oh, there you go, though. Mr. Twix, one of them. Okay, I'm with you. Pugs, those kind of dogs. However, in dogs and cats, porphyrin also can be excreted through the tears, saliva, and urine, as well as a poo. And when tears and saliva containing the porphyrin sit on light-coloured fur for any period of time, staining will occur. So this comes to also regularly cleaning the face. And if it seems your pet tear stains are worse after he's been outside, you're not imagining things. The iron-containing stains do indeed darken when exposed to sunlight. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Now, if the stains are more of a brown colour than a rust colour, it's likely your pet has developed a yeast infection on her face because the fur under the eyes is constantly wet with tears. Yes, because when you wash their face, we put our dogs in the shower with us, so for me it makes it really easy. But when you wash their face, don't press the fur down, which is your natural way of doing it when you actually wash their little face, going in the direction of where the tears would flow down. You gotta go upwards. You gotta lift up that fur, and you've got to get to the skin. You gotta get all that gunk off. It takes a bit to do it. It does, but you've got to definitely keep that face clean. A tip that came from my friend Pam, someone gave to her, was, once their face is clean, put a tiny little bit of coconut oil there where it would normally run down, and hopefully that protects the skin and the tears can run off the top of it. And I thought that was a great tip. And of course, coconut oil is safe to put on them. Organic, by the way. So anyway, it can be important to know if you're so brown stains from a yeast infection are different from red stains caused by perforins. This can be important to know if you're trying to resolve brown stains with a product intended for red stains, or vice versa. Yeast infections can also odoriferous. So if your pet's face
Stinky.
smells, we've heard that word twice, haven't we? Twice in the show. If it smells, think yeast, yeah? And pets can also have a porphyrin stained face and a secondary yeast infection from the constantly moist skin. So when you do wash that face, dry it well. To confuse matters worse, further, let's keep going. She said we can only guess why some make more porphyrin than others, and therefore have more staining. Genetics could play a part, and innate bacteria levels are involved. Certain breeds, of course, and lineages can be prone to this. But she's seen excessive porphyrin production in incredibly healthy animals eating a clean diet of organic fresh food with no environmental toxin exposure, including vaccines. And she's seen the same amount of porphyrins in very unhealthy pets that she knows are eating toxic food and living in toxic environments. Ooh, but you know what? At least you can try all those things, remove plastic bowls, improve that diet, do everything you possibly can to try and, fix it. She said you can do quite a bit, she said, to actually control your pet's tear staining by keeping the face meticulously clean and free of any of that moisture. This means gently wiping the face twice a day, the soft, warm, damp cloth, keeping the face hair trimmed. That's important. And necessary regular appointments with the groomer to make sure you can maintain that. And she says, feed high quality, balanced, species appropriate diet. The less unnecessary indigestible stuff your pet's body has to deal with, the less stress on the organs of detoxification. Lots of fresh filtered water, which is often high in mineral content or iron or other impurities, including chlorine and fluoride, which are toxic to pets. So, you can do Kangen water if you can get your hands on that. Replace your plastic food bowls and water bowls. We know they're gross. They hold a lot of bacteria. And opt for stainless steel, porcelain, or glass, because those plastic ones they can cause skin acne in cats. Those plastic bowls. So
wow.
get rid of that. And she's got all these other really, really fantastic suggestions of like milk thistle, dandelion, olive leaf, chlorophyll, not chloroform, chlorophyll, colostrum, and probiotics successfully to decrease the amount of staining in her patients. And just a lot of natural ways to actually clean that face and keep it, moisture free and bacteria free. And there are some all-natural tear stain removal products on the market. We'll probably do a blog post on that. We'll have a good look and see what we find, what we recommend. What she does not recommend is that you treat tear stains in these ways. People have given Tums. That's
what?
Crazy.
How did you come up with that?
Crazy town. These are crazy town people. Tums, topical apple cider vinegar. Oral is okay, but it's strong, so you can't put that on the face. Milk of magnesia, don't put that on the face. Don't put hydrogen peroxide on the face. We'll talk about that like we did last week. Don't use makeup remover. So these are things people have done. Don't use Gold Bond in any form. That's a talcum powder. Don't put corn syrup on there. People are idiots. I'm going to say it. People are idiots if you do this stuff. Additionally, never use human eye drops on pets. Except for a basic saline solution. No additives whatsoever. We talked about hydrogen peroxide last week, how it slows down the healing process, didn't we, of wounds, and you should never use that with pets. So definitely not that. That is cuckoo, crazy town if you're doing that kind of stuff with your pets. Amazing to me. You see it all, you hear it all. It's crazy stuff. It really is. So I'll put this link up because there's some really great suggestions there. Really great suggestions to deal with that tear staining. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to take one more quick break. When we come back, we've got a couple more things to cover. When we come back, we're going to talk about, what do I want to talk about? Because I've got lots and lots of topics. I want to talk about the grounding mat. And I will talk about noise phobia. That's what we're going to talk about. So stay right there. We're coming right back. You're listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio with me, Sam, your host, the queen of rock and roll dogs.
Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Pets, people, pop culture.
Welcome to Barking Dog Self-Washing Grooming, your one-stop shop for all your pet's needs. We offer premium natural pet foods, full-service grooming, and an on-site bakery and boutique. You can choose to self-wash your dog or schedule a luxury pampering with our professional groomers. Visit our Cool Cat section offering feline food, toys, bedding, and litter, while the adventurous dog department has everything you need for your outdoor activities. And don't forget Cody's Healing Garden, featuring flower, aromatherapy, and herbal remedies for pets. Find us at www.barkingdogslv.com, and we look forward to seeing you in our neighborhood.
Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Pets, people, pop culture.
Welcome back, everyone. Nine Fingers is my producer today. He can't press any buttons properly. That's we had that weird.
Don't be so
that's we had that
rude.
weird empty gap there. Tell them what happened to you.
I fell
He fell. He broke a bone in his finger.
and bunched up my shoulder.
Bunched it up.
I bunched it up. I banged it up.
Banged up his shoulder.
Really bad. I've been doing exercises during the show today. Rotation
He's
exercises.
He's not the best when it comes to following directions about his care when he's injured.
I think you have to move. I'm sorry, but
I have
this,
to
like,
move?
Yeah, you have to move. Or
Oh,
else,
no, you do have to move, yes.
So,
Otherwise, you're going to be frozen. But he's got a broken finger in one hand and then the other shoulder. So he's no use to anybody.
That's great. That's great. That's nice. Nice to let everybody know that.
That's why you can't press the buttons fast enough. Oh, my gosh. Let's talk about another FDA warning, actually. It's good to get these warnings out so that you know not to use these drugs. And one of them is a noise aversion drug called Sileo. It's one of the many reasons why holistic veterinarians avoid prescribing, that's good, I like that word, prescribing pharmaceuticals whenever for problems that can successfully be treated with natural therapies. Absolutely. Here's the warning. They alerted dog owners and vets to the risk of accidental overdose of Sileo. It's a gel given orally to treat noise aversion in dogs, and the gel is absorbed into the bloodstream through the gums. Anyway, Sileo was recently FDA approved for use in dogs with noise phobia. The active ingredient in this drug is dimexdotomidine and has been around for years. It's used as a veterinary medicine as a sedative, and when administered in a veterinary setting with competent staff, it's generally safe. Generally, I don't like that word at all. Yeah, I wouldn't go for that. Anyway, Dr. Eric Brackus made note of it in a Dogstar article that a small percentage of animals don't handle it well, and not even in very small doses. And in those cases, it can cause life-threatening complications. He also observed that in his experience, dogs injected with dexamethasone. Oh my gosh. I need to ask my friend Sarah, because she's in the medical field, how the heck they learn these names.
Sarah from the hospital.
Yeah, there must be a way. There must be a method to learn these. Let me break it down.
You have to
Dexamethasone.
You have to know Latin.
Probably, yeah. Actually, dogs injected with it actually become sensitized to noise. Are you kidding me? So noises seem to disrupt the sedative effects, he writes. Yet it's approved for noise phobia. How? This is like crazy town shows today. This is just some crazy stuff, and it makes no sense at all to me, of course. But there have been 28 reported overdoses in 1 year. That's 28 too many. So during its first year, the FDA received 28 reports of Sileo overdoses in dogs, and it's suspected the dosing problem has a lot to do with the delivery mechanism. And here's the warning. from the FDA. Cilio is packaged in an oral dosing syringe with a ring stop mechanism on the plunger that must be dialed and locked into place in order to set the correct dose for the dog. See where this is going. Overdose can result if the ring stop is not fully locked. Therefore, it is important that the person administering the product understands how to operate the syringe correctly before giving the product to the dog. Good grief. In some of the 28 cases, the entire syringe of gel was given. In about half the cases, the dog shows symptoms of overdose, including lethargy, sedation, sleepiness, slow heart rate, loss of consciousness, shallow or slow breathing, trouble breathing, impaired balance or incoordination, low blood pressure, and muscle tremors. Fortunately, they were only temporary, but that's something that totally could be avoided. I mean, totally could be avoided. Anyway, like a lot of veterinarians will say, they carry more risks than benefits in treating a condition for which there are so many safe alternative therapies. And jump into the use of drugs before exhausting all behavioral modification techniques and natural approaches is something that most holistic integrative veterinarians they'd never recommend that first. But it is a standard approach with most traditional veterinarians. And so, you know, the noise phobia, it's anything from storms, fireworks, just extreme noise. And of course, then the behaviors can be extreme, you know, trying to escape, but lots of anxiety, lots of shaking. And it can do a real number on them. I mean, you've all seen how your pets react to fireworks and thunderstorms right now. Remember the 5th of November? It's happening tomorrow, and already fireworks have been kicking off back home in England. And for those you have no clue what I'm talking about Guy Fawkes. He was not a fictional character. He was a real historical person who tried to blow up the Houses of Parliament. What is the movie that... what's the movie about Guy Fawkes? It's not a great representation of it, but a lot of people thought it was just a fictional character, which it's actually not. Oh, Sarah says, some words are easier than others. Tell me about it, Sarah. Those ones you're saying are the hard ones. I would struggle with those too. Oh, I don't feel so bad, but I always seem to have the hard words I'm trying to tell everyone. It's ridiculous. Thank you, Sarah, for that. So you've got these noise phobias. Everybody feels very, very bad when their pets are really scared. They're nothing worse than being scared and not knowing when it's going to stop. It's horrible. And so it is important you do take action to help your dog. I mean, really, you know, look at what can help them. And don't think in your own head, that would help me, so it must help my dog. You've got to observe what works for your dog or your cat, yeah? And they said it can actually be inherited. So it's possible a pup can be predisposed to this kind of condition, you know, based off its lineage, reacting to noise itself. But, you've got to learn what calms your dog. And it's different for every single dog, isn't it? And the first thing would be there's a load of recommendations, and they're fantastic, actually. If your dog's crate trained and their crate is their happy place, then you might find that your dog will just naturally go to its crate. But what you could do is you can actually put a blanket over the top of the crate that would make it a little bit more, darker, calmer. It would actually take out some of the sound, really, wouldn't it? Think about that, Jim. This would be a best room for everybody to be in because of all the soundproofing.
You're right.
Oh, you know what? Why didn't someone come up with a soundproof crate? Or a soundproof... something that you can just, like a soundproof blanket, because there are soundproof blankets. Did you know that?
Maybe you
Yeah,
should.
there are soundproof blankets.
Maybe you should run with that idea.
Oh my gosh, I wish I'd never opened my mouth and put it out to the world. But there you go. Well, that's one thing, eliminate the noise if you can. But drip a blanket over the crate if you can. And if your dog has never been crate trained, don't get one and try and force them in there. That's not going to work. You're going to just make it so much worse. A quiet room in your home probably will work. And what's that noise? Oh, I think you have your notifications on.
No.
Don't you?
No.
Dinging in the background.
My phone's very silent.
Are you sure? Because
I'm positive. You might want to check your devices.
No,
because that is not happening on this side of the studio. That's for sure.
Got to watch that, Jim.
No, don't be blaming you and your accusations.
See, I've got that. I've got that noise aversion problem. I've got the phobia. I can't stand all these weird noises.
What was it of yours that?
It wasn't
dinged?
Of mine. That's the thing. I think that was yours. It came from over there.
I guarantee it wasn't. And I'm guaranteeing that.
I need to get in a crate right now to calm myself down.
I'll lock you in.
So a quiet room could work. Stay with your dog. Often that does provide some relief. For some pets, it's been in a dark room. Mr. Twix loves my walk-in wardrobe. He loves to go in the dark. He just loves it in there. It's quiet. It's cool. It's very, very dark. It's very soundproof in there because there's a lot of clothes in there. So that could be something that would work. And the goal is to just give them a very secure spot. Try and keep them calm. This is what I found out about. I found out about earthing mat or a grounding pad. Put that in your dog's space, and it can be especially helpful during a stormy weather. I'm going to talk in detail after this about that. This is something new to me. What you can do is, like, prior to, say, fireworks are going to be going off, maybe you can get out for a brisk walk, before or after, fireworks happen, and it helps combat that negative physiological effects of stress-induced hormones in the body. You can play some music. You can play music. But I don't think necessarily it has to be soothing music, because our dogs like all kind of music, don't they, really? Mm-hmm. But it's a way of, drowning out noises, basically. You can put gentle pressure on your dog. We've talked about that before, the Temple Grandin method. My dog's between my legs, wrapped up in a blanket, do really well. Often pets will lean up against you when they're scared, and don't do that whole myth thing of ignoring your pet, because that does not help them. They're looking to you for comfort, so don't push them away. What else? Thunder jackets. They're great. We've got one. We love them. If you don't have a thunder jacket, you can use those stretchy bandages in a certain configuration around their body. It just gives them enough pressure to just relax them and take away some of the anxiousness. So that's your applied pressure technique. There's also a T-Touch anxiety wrap as well that you can get. There's also the T-Touch specific massage technique. I've been massaging my dogs a lot this week. They're so lucky. Some are okay. Thornton likes to cover her head. She'll get under a blanket, so you can cover their heads if that's okay for them. You can cover the little ears. There's mutt muffs available, which I didn't know about that. Ear protection for dogs. Mutt muffs, love that. And of course, you can talk to your holistic veterinarian about homeopathic or traditional Chinese medicines, back flower remedies, which we've done before. We've done, what do they call it? Rescue remedy. CBD oil would be another one that would work. CBD treats. There's a lot. There's just so much on the market now. And there's some calming nutraceuticals and herbs that you can use. There's also essential oils you can work with. She recommends, some lavender on a cloth, and you can put it in your dog's favorite hiding place before a stressor occurs. And diffuse oil around the house. So there are lots you can do before you have to go to any kind of medications, but that's the one medication you do not need. One thing you never ever want to do with a dog and who's afraid of storms or other loud noises is to leave them outdoors while they're anxious and panicked. Dogs regularly run away and are seriously injured during these times. They'll escape out of gates. They'll smash themselves into glass doors. I've seen that before, and it's just absolutely terrifying. I've seen it done time and time again. People put them outside like they're going to just get used to it. And what it does is it amplifies the problem. I think these tips are wonderful. I think they're really good. I'm sure one or a combination of them you'd surely find something that would work. But yeah, so for anyone that's going to be going through Guy Fawkes night tomorrow, there are some tips for you. And so I mentioned this grounding mat, and I thought, what the heck is this grounding mat? And I know we only have a couple of minutes, but here we go. And I pulled this straight off the website. Earthling Matte Green Energy Ground Smart. Rejuvenate yourself. So this is for you and your pets. Rejuvenate yourself from the ground up and enjoy the proven health benefits of grounding indoors. By using the Ground Smart Conductive Plant and Body Band, you'll allow your body long blocks of time being grounded to the Earth's energy.
Do I need one of those?
You need two. Also referred to as Earthling. See, I walk around bare feet all the time, and I'm always on the back patio. Always. So I get my groundwork in, yeah? And what you do is you simply plug the mat or band into the ground port of a wall outlet and relax, work, or sleep. Oh, I might get one for the office gym. You should probably get one. Engineered with dual layers to provide maximum durability and ultimate conductivity, The secret is in the top layer, which is crafted using the world's most conductive pure Peruvian silver. It is integrated with the soft organic rubber surface that your skin touches. This is what makes it possible for you to connect with the Earth's energy indoors. It allows you to stay completely grounded all day, no matter what you do, in the office, at work, on the couch, at rest, or your computer, and even while you sleep. Wow. And what makes it unique is that pure Peruvian silver, unlike any other
Peruvian silver.
Peruvian.
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 Peruvian silver. Peruvian.
Okay. You want to rebrand it for them?
No.
Unlike any other grounding method in the world, Only Ground Smart uses pure Peruvian silver as a secret ingredient to superconductivity, mined from a hidden location in the Peruvian mountains. They've secured the most conductive silver on the planet, and it's nearly white. It's lustrous, soft, very ductile, malleable, and it's known to be the highest conductor of heat and electricity available. You'll instantly feel the difference. I'm ordering one today.
Along with your unicorn.
Yeah, along with... That's all I need, a unicorn and an earthling grounding mat. What more could you need? And the stripper pole that went along with it. It's antibacterial, so of course they make it clean. And it says grounding. It's also referred to as earthing. Yeah, it's gained popularity quickly because of the experiences people have raved about. It's anecdotal, and the studies that back up the profound effects have been noted. Great. So it's anecdotal, and there are studies as well. There is a great interview with Dr. Karen Becker, and I'm going to put this link up for you, with Clint Ober. He spent 15 years researching the Earth's electrical energy influences on health. He set out to answer the question, I wonder if loss of contact with the Earth could possibly have any effect on our physiology or on our bodies. Clint began experimenting with grounding and immediately realized he was sleeping better. Soon after, he realized he was experiencing a reduction in the chronic pain he had endured for decades. And he started doing his own research and conducting small studies on the effects of grounding on markers of health, and he soon attracted the attention of doctors and scientists. And more studies followed, and there were about a dozen peer-reviewed published studies that provided proof of concept evidence that grounding does affect physiology. Animals will instinctively ground themselves if they have the option, but indoor-only cats and pets living in cities are rarely grounded. Clint encouraged everyone to really try to find a spot outdoors where you and your pet can sit or at least stand on the ground. Every morning I do it. Every single morning I'm on my patio with my dogs. Every single morning. Spend 30 to 60 minutes touching the ground as often as possible. The first thing that will happen is your blood will normalize. Your face will turn pink. And after 30 minutes, you should feel your energy level rising. Your color should be high. Yeah, your color should be high. Your pain score should be lower. And you may feel happier. Grounding is an exciting field because it has the potential to help not only manage chronic disease and inflammation in animals, but also stress. Today's dogs and cats in particular have a tremendous amount of physiological and emotional stress due to primarily to inappropriate diets and lack of exercise. I'm telling you now, I'm getting one. I'm putting the link up not only for the product, but also for the the science as well, the interview. Very, very interesting. I've not actually heard of that. So I'm all about that. That's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Well, next week, I do have a few more things I wanted to talk about today, but we've run out of time. Next week, I want to talk about e-cigarettes and what they can do if you have pets in the house, what it does to the pets. But I don't have time for that today, but we'll definitely throw it in next week. But I think we've covered some great stuff today. It's autumn here. Yay! It's autumn. We love autumn. It's a time to bake. It's a time to go out on long walks. And as Princess Madonna says, go to a pumpkin patch, have some autumn photos taken, watch a movie, snuggle under the blankets. It all sounds delightful to me. That's what I want to do, Jim. Maybe we should do that tomorrow.
Okay.
Because we haven't had a day off in so long where we haven't worked. So I think that would be really nice for us to do that with the dogs. Well, my friends, as I say, I'm looking at pictures right now of Sarah's dogs, and they're in their thunder jackets, and she swears by thunder jackets. I say she's in England, so they're going through the whole fireworks nightmare, and they look totally relaxed. They're on their bed. They got their thunder jackets. They're beautifully made. They are great, and they fit very, very well. So, lot to be said for that, and not having to use drugs. Love that. Whenever you can avoid that, you probably should. You know, we're the same though, aren't we, Jim? I mean, you broke your finger and you wouldn't take those narcotics, would you?
No, I won't take them.
They make me feel sick, and I don't want that in my body, and I don't feel good on them, so he's not doing that. Well, that's the end of the show, Jim. And if you've liked today's show, and you're listening on your smartphone or your iPad, give us a share. Tell your friends about the show, because, you know, we want to grow the audience. We are an international audience. We want to grow even further, because we like to bring you great information so that you can do the best you can for your pets. So remember, you can help an animal in need. Either rescue, adopt, donate, volunteer, or share their information. Rescue your next family member and replace the word shop with adopt. And be kind to all animals. Thank you, Jim, for pressing the buttons with your 9 fingers. It's been an absolute pleasure. Now I'm off to order myself an inflatable unicorn and an earthling mat. What more can a girl want? Today you've been listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio, where it is all about pets, people, and pop culture. I'm your host, Sam, the queen of rock and roll dogs. And always kiss your pets good morning and good night. And I'll see you next time.
You've been listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Pets, people, pop culture.
Visit Vegas Rock Dog Radio for more information. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And subscribe on iTunes and iHeartRadio. And remember, give your fur babies a big kiss from me, Sam, the queen of rock and roll dogs. You must not rely on the information in this broadcast from our hosts as an alternative to medical advice from your veterinarian. If you have any specific questions about a medical matter regarding your pets, you should consult your veterinarian or specialist.